Hi, welcome back to Love in Life. I am back this week and I've decided to give YouTube a go again. I started to get quite overwhelmed with, I don't know, in my head, it was extra editing, and I don't know, there was obviously a lot of self reflection to do in terms of being seen, like physically being seen. So I've been doing a lot of work around that. I tend to do a lot of work around that anyway. Um, so yeah, here I am. And I'm just gonna go with the flow, see what happens. Yeah, let's give it a go. So I have this episode today is based on a something that happened last week. Okay, so just bear with me because it's going to have a point to it. So here we go. So last week, in fact, the day that my last episode went live, I was due to go to a networking event in Birmingham, which is about an hour away from here. And I'd bought my ticket for this networking event when they first came out in May, because I was like, if I don't do it now, I'm going to find a reason to talk myself out of it because, me, like many people, I'm sure, have self confidence, imposter syndrome, like little bits of those creep in and sometimes stop me doing things or certainly make me feel nervous about doing things. And I have to do a lot of work around it before I then go and do it. So I purchased my ticket well in advance and forgot to put it in my calendar. And it was only the night before my phone. Um, it was only the night before that I realized it was the next day. So, and it was only then, it was only because somebody had written in the Facebook group of this membership that I'm a part of that was holding the networking event. Somebody had posted in the Facebook group, if anyone's going from Bristol, which is obviously where I was going from, um, this is what train I'm going to be on. This is what I'm going to be wearing. So look out for me. Feel free to come and say hi. And at that point, I was like, when I'd obviously remembered about this, I was like, shit, I've got, well, so many reasons why I could have found excuses to not go. Like, the kids have got rugby training. I've now started to pick them up from school every day rather than them getting the bus home just to save us some money. So I have committed myself to doing that every day. And there's so many reasons why I could have found excuses not to go, which I'll be fair is normally what I would do. Um, but I slept on it because Craig was away in London. He didn't get back till late. Anyway, when he when we got up in the morning, I said to him, I've just remembered about this blooming networking event. It's in Birmingham. I've not got to be there till 12, so that's fine. It's not a rush. What do you reckon? And he was like, yeah, go for it. I'll pick the kids up. I can do rugby, which I was back for that anyway. So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna go. And usually at that point, I'd be like, oh my God, I feel really nervous. I'm the kind of person, I'm sorry if this is too graphic, but I'm the kind of person who um, needs to go to the toilet lots. I like have nervous poos. So that would normally be my morning when I've got something like this coming up. I didn't feel any of that. And I truly put that down to the work that I've been doing, the inner work that I've been doing, and the fact that I have pushed myself through things like this before. But even recently, like back earlier on in the year, I've still struggled to go to networking events and actually talk about myself. I still struggle to tell people what I do with confidence. Um, I do still get that if I'm completely honest. So I went to Birmingham. I Craig dropped me off at the train station, and there's two train stations in Bristol. So you've got Bristol Parkway, Bristol Temple Meads. I was going from Bristol Parkway because that's literally like 10 minutes down the road from me. And let's go back to this lady who posted on the Facebook group to say that she was going from Bristol. I didn't know if she was going from Bristol Parkway or Bristol Temple Meads. So I kind of, it's in the back of my head, but I didn't expect to see her at all. Anyway, you know what I'm going to say now, don't you? I went to the train station, walked down the steps onto the platform where the train was going to be. And the first person I saw was this lady in this lovely, if I remember rightly, it's like a blue leopard print dress that she had on. And I spotted her straight away. And I was like, oh God, do I go and say anything to her? So I went up. She wasn't looking at me. She was sort of like looking the opposite way. And I went up behind her. It's probably a bit weird, but I said in her ear, I was like, I know where you're going. um, Obviously, luckily she took it well. I don't know what made me do that. And she found it funny. So we had a little chuckle about that. And she said, oh, do you want to sit together on the train? We can have a little chat and go together. I was like, yeah, amazing. And well, we got on like a house on fire. We had so much in common. And, we were talking about what each of us do. Strangely, I didn't feel weird talking to her about what I do. That's only just crossed my mind now, actually, like as I'm saying this. I didn't actually feel self-conscious about telling her what I do. So thank you, Kelly, if you're listening. So yeah, we just had the best time on the train. We ended up talking about our kids. We ended up talking about like what school they go to. And when I said what school my kids go to, she said, oh, one of my friends' kids go there. She said, well, she's actually got twins. And she told me a whole story. And I was like, no way. You're talking about Karen. And it turns out that we're both really good friends with Karen, but obviously from different, friendship circles. I only know her since George has been going to this school and her son and George happen to be friends. So, yeah, what are the chances? So, my point of this episode is like, I truly feel like that was a path I was meant to take. I truly feel like I was meant to be, I was meant to meet Kelly that day. Because given that we had so much in common and how well we got on with each other, I really truly feel like the universe lined up that day and made sure that we were on that train together. Um, there's too many coincidences there. And as you know, I do not believe in coincidences. Like things always happen for a reason. So yeah, like I guess my point is when you feel like staying safe and hiding behind the reasons, excuses that stop you from doing something that you feel uncomfortable with, step out of your comfort zone. Like I had every reason, like I could have, because I only remembered the night before, I could have easily been like, no, it's too much. I haven't even bought my train ticket. Um, blah, 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 blah. All these reasons I could have easily said, do you know what? I'm just not in the mentally prepared for it, which I normally would be in that place. I wouldn't normally be mentally prepared for it, but I thought, fuck it, let's just go for it. And I'm so glad I did. Like I got to meet Lisa Johnson, who, well, if you don't know her, if you're an entrepreneur and you live in the UK, even if you don't live in the UK, look up Lisa Johnson. I think she's on her social media. She's like business strategist or something like that. But she's amazing. I'm part of her membership that talks all about growing your business, putting strategies in place. She's the queen of passive income. So if I don't want this to turn into like a Lisa Johnson fangirl episode, but she's amazing. And I got to meet her. I also got to meet her sidekick, Shelley, who she's just got so many little nuggets of information. And I got to meet her as well. I got to meet so many other lovely, lovely ladies. In fact, there seem to be lots of synchronicities going on this day. So me and Kelly met up with two lovely ladies who were also attending at when we got to Birmingham train station, and they'd had their own like little synchronicities going on as well. Like they knew each other kind of, but they didn't know they were on the same train until the last minute. So that was quite wild, that we both had our own little similar synchronicities going on and met up. And I'd I'd booked us an Uber to get from the train station to the venue where we were doing this networking event. And so the four of us got in the Uber, and one lady said, I've never been in an Uber before. Well, I was like, oh my God, she lives in Wales and like in a little village, sort of outback, not near any big cities or anything. She's not a city girl by any means. So she's never had an Uber before. And I feel so privileged that I was part of her first Uber experience. And obviously I'd paid for that because it was on my account. And bless her, like it was only £8. I think it was only £7. So these other two ladies, they both found me at the end and they were like, oh, here's a £2 towards the Uber. And I was like, please don't be daft. Anyway, this one lady, Claire, gave me a £2 coin and she said, this is a lucky coin. I was like, what? What do you mean? Why are you giving me that? And she had this, there was a story behind it around a psychic lady that she saw, I think it was. And I don't know, there was a story with this £2 coin. And she said, you'll know when the time to give it up is. And I was part of that story. So I feel so privileged to not only be part of her first Uber experience, like really exciting, and also to be given a £2 coin, a lucky £2 coin, which I guess I'm going to wait until the right time. It feels like the right time to give it up. So it's just in my bag at the moment in a really safe space. And yeah, so honestly, like I got so much out of that day. It was just amazing. And if I would have stayed in my comfort zone, telling myself that it was too late to do anything about it, it's okay, like it's perfectly acceptable to not go because you've only just realized, like bullshit. um it's all lies, it's all excuses, and I'm so glad I pushed myself out of my comfort zone. So yeah, like if ever you feel like staying in your within your safe space, not pushing yourself out of out of your comfort zone, like just consider what might come from it. Just consider, what if that's the path you're meant to take? And to be honest with you, like we could go down this path all the time, like, oh my God, but what if I'm supposed to take that path? If I'm supposed to take that path? Go with your intuition. Quite often we know, and we just talk ourselves out of it. We just don't want to see it. We know which path we should be taking a lot of the time. And it might not be like a knowing up here. It might be a knowing in here, in your heart. It might be a knowing in your sacral. This is where I have been told, another story, but this is where I have been told to listen to my gut. This is where my intuition connects. So this is what I listen to, is my sacral. So yeah, you never know what opportunities might arise from it. And like I feel like I've made a friend that day in Kelly, and we're going to be meeting up soon for coffee. So yeah, I thank myself for going for it. And it wasn't even that hard. Like I said, there would have been times in the past where I would have easily talked myself out of it. And it wasn't that hard to push myself through. In fact, I think if I would have forced myself to make a decision the night before, I probably wouldn't have gone. But the fact that I slept on it, which usually means you're using your head, um, but I didn't use my head. I was literally just didn't think about it again until the morning. What do you think of my plant, by the way? Like, look how beautiful this is. When I first got this in February, that was about this big. Can you see this leaf here? Oh, no, what's that one up there? About this big. And probably actually about these. I can't see them from my angle. Let me turn it around. Ah, there we go. So probably about this when I got it in February. And look how much it's grown. Like, you know how I always say this room has got an amazing energy. I love the energy in this room. And I swear any plant that I put in here thrives. So yeah, just look at that. That is, I've only had that for what, 7, 8 months. And look at it, it's beautiful. I don't do anything special with them. I just water them. Look how beautiful that is. Anyway, I digress. What was I saying? I've got something coming up, which if you would like to have a little boost of self-confidence, this might be for you. Okay, this is something new that I'm trying. We are going to do a group session, and it's going to involve a little bit of coaching, a little bit of journaling. There's going to be some Reiki, and there's going to be like some meditation, some affirmations that we'll create. It's going to be about an hour long, and that is going to be held on the 21st of September. This is only going to be for 6 people. This is the first time I'm doing this. So I want to keep it to a small group. I want to see how it goes first. And what we're going to be doing is focusing on self-confidence and the chakra that correlates with your self-confidence, which is of course your solar plexus. So that is obviously the Reiki that we're going to focus on, and the energy that we're going to focus on. So if that sounds like the kind of thing you might like to be to join in with, have a look at the details in the show notes. Obviously, if you're listening after the 21st of September 2024, then you've missed it. But depending on how this goes, I might very well do some more in the future. I'm using this as a beta. So it's going to be cheaper than I will be doing it in the future. And obviously, I'm going to see how we get on with it. I'm really looking forward to it because I just think who doesn't need a little boost of self-confidence? Like, even if you're generally quite confident, there's always at least one area of your life that you could probably do with a little boost of confidence, whether that's work, relationships, money, that kind of thing. So, like I say, only going to be 6 places. So if you're interested, please don't delay, because I am only keeping it to 6 people. Okay, I'm going to leave it there today. I hope you can join me on the 21st. Ask me any questions if you've got any. Push yourself out of your comfort zone this week. If anything comes up for you where you would normally play it safe, where you would normally hide, make excuses, then please think of the synchronicities that I've talked about today, all the lovely things that came out of me pushing myself out of my comfort zone, because it just led to some amazing feelings and like a sense of achievement for me as well. Like, I was really proud of myself. Okay. Thanks for joining me as always. And I will see you next time. Lots of love. Bye.